It's supposed to be like a week where we're doing like a classic or something. Maybe even, supposed to be a little piece of a bye week, right? But hey man, just sitting over here watching what's happening in the neighborhood, right? You already know what it's about to be. Thanks up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started. Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
All right, greetings and salutations. Hopefully all is going well for you and yours. Boy, oh boy. I tell you what, yeah, around these parts, we ain't got no sugar. Definitely a reference to Friday. I'm sorry. That's look for those who are feeling some type of way. Honestly, that's the first thing I really thought about, this whole week, man. What's up, little baby? What's up, Terra T? Shout out to Dennis Driscoll, FAMU's SID. I told y'all, man, I ain't got no problem with none of them. Look, Hollow, you early. I see you. Look, you go, little baby Gail, Terra T, Hollow. Appreciate y'all, man. Yeah. FAMU tennis. We'll start off with that. They got a little something going on. So go check them out. SWAC tournament begins on Friday. So I'm here for it. I'm excited about it. I gotta see where to watch it at. Probably SWAC TV. So go check that out. Also, FAMU volleyball. They're gonna be going against the Alabama schools. So what's up, Ezekiel? Hope all is well with you and yours. Man, it's not a lot of wild craziness. So I will say though, shout out to Coach Colsey because I got to catch him. We had a call yesterday, so we did the media call yesterday. So it was at the perfect time for me. Look, all of it could be at that time, but that fit my schedule. Normally, I can't make the Tallahassee call, so I was in there for that one, and it was interesting. Not a lot of questions. Shout out to Gerald. What's up, B Starks? What's up, Kev? Gerald, I don't know what Gerald's writing for the Tallahassee Democrat, but if you are not subscribed, I'm telling you right now, I don't get anything from any of that. So make sure I make that plain and clear and make it known to everybody. Gerald don't throw me no coin. He just told me appreciate that, and that's really all I need. But yeah, like Gerald must be up to writing some stuff because some of the questions he asked, man, he asked that quarterback question for y'all because I didn't ask twice. I was like, I ain't asking again. I was in the car like, no, I'm not about to ask. And Gerald was like, what we looking at quarterback wise, and so I'll say this: listening to the call and kind of replaying it in the back of my mind, I expect to see both quarterbacks. I don't think you're going to be relying on RJ as much. That's just me. But the question was definitely asked. We definitely had also, asked the question about really the 220 thing. That was organic. Nobody asked like why he wasn't there. He offered that for free, and he was honest. He's like, hey, I was in South Georgia recruiting because my schedule got messed up. So, and he was literally saying the plan the day before was to play Valley, and now they had to literally switch things around to get ready for North Carolina Central, which was interesting, man. I've definitely got to take my mental notes on that, So yeah, there are normally 2 calls. I know in the past under our previous SID, those were recorded, and so you could kind of catch them on there. But I don't know if this one was recorded or not. But yeah, so yes, there was a media call yesterday, but it was really people who just hyper focused on FAMU. So, but You definitely got the question about the quarterback situation. Gerald Thompson, Tallahassee Democrat, asked that. You also got the question related to just getting ready for this next game and really kind of what you're going to see. So, he didn't give too much, but he said enough. So, and look, I've been on that since week 1. I'll be honest. This is just me. At this point in the season, I wanted to have seen all 3 quarterbacks. Just not even selfishly, just as a person. Like, hey, I was hoping for the Alabama State game we would have our guy by then. But once I kind of was like, oh, okay, well, it was what it was going into game 1. And I was like, okay, well, let's see what it is. And then going into game 2, I was like, I'm not for this. And by game 3, I was like, okay. And then when we got to that Alabama State game, I think that showed us what you need to see. And I think that showed the fan base what they need to see, that who QB1 should be. So I ain't gonna share everything, folks. Share with me, just because some of that I believe is in confidence, some of it might not be. But I think, much to your point, it would be nice to see all 3 quarterbacks. Like, and as you pointed out, 4 down linemen. Like, I don't think you're going to be able to run a 3 down line front against NCCU. If so, it's going to be another 200+ yard rushing night. Can't win like that. So, but yeah, so Georgia Classic, not happening. So hopefully for anybody who did try to get some tickets or whatnot, hopefully you hit up for that refund, man. So definitely was a game we were, trying to support, as a show. Hey, go support our people who support that. But I think, just looking at it, the Georgia Classic maybe speaks to why we don't do some of these HBCU classes, some of these other areas. Like, and maybe there's some things we can do different about it, right? If you didn't check out Gerald's article from Tallahassee Democrat, good article. And it also spoke to some chinks in the armor. We're going to speak that a little bit. But it also kind of highlighted the fact that we got some things we need to work on. So you think NIL is the reason why Colsey doesn't switch quarterbacks? I don't think so. I can't say have to. I would want to ask my Fangs Exchange peoples about that. I know they can only say so much. I don't think that's it. I just think this is what I'll say this. And we had a good discussion somewhere else. I think RJ's stats are part of the problem because he has a good completion percentage. If you look at statistically, RJ's actually not having that bad of a year as far as completion percentage. Now, you start talking about yards per throw, it's a whole horse of a different color then. Like, you start to look around and be like, bro, no, this it's not going to be this. But I think when you're looking at the other stuff and you're seeing like, okay, he's thrown for a couple touchdowns, but are some of them in garbage time? He doesn't have any fumbles, but he takes sacks. Like, I think it's when you're looking at him protecting the ball, it's a big reason he's starting. And I love what you just said there, little baby. I think it equals empty calories. It's kind of like you get up for breakfast. I know me personally, like this year in particular, I'm consuming a lot more peanut butter, like about the last year or so. Like, man, I get up in the morning, I eat something for breakfast, and then lunch. I'm not starving, but I'm hungry. But I realize, like, man, I get some like apples and peanut butter or pretzels and peanut butter. Okay, but about 1 o'clock, I'm still good. 3, 4 o'clock, I'm a little hungry, but I ain't hangry. And I think a lot of what RJ's given us is empty calories. It's a nice completion percentage, but everything is 5 yards or less for the most part, except for the couple chunk plays he has hit on. And even with those are plays to a running back or somebody that's normally coming out of the backfield on like a wheel route. So, busted coverage against Albany State. Nothing spectacular, right? And he should have probably 2 more touchdowns, if we're being honest. But at the same point, with all of the protective stats he has, the one stat he don't have or doesn't have enough of, it's wins. Those positive stats have not turned into wins. And I think that's part of you're looking at it and it don't match. Like kind of like when that first game for Howard, the reason I was frustrated and the reason you even heard Kelvin from ONG Strike Zone when we did the Monday show talk about his frustration. And let me turn on the chat so y'all can see each other. I'm sorry. I apologize. It was because statistically, in some areas, you shouldn't have got your doors blown off like that. It should have been a more competitive game. But you got the fool beat out of you at home. And you had decent stats in some areas. And you also didn't adjust in other areas too. So the offense is bad, but it's painfully obvious. Coach can't evaluate talent. He was adamant about upgrading OLDL. This is worse than last year. Still seeing DBs totally confused in emotion. Okay. Like I told y'all, with the D-line, part of it is, that's why I keep pointing out, we're running a 3-down front. 3 against 5 is not going to work, especially when the guys that you took that were supposed to be the best defensive linemen are on the team. I mean, they're not on the field, right? So Westmoreland's not there. My boy from Kennesaw State, he's not there. So what do you do with that, right? Like, this is one of those teams, especially defensive line-wise, if you can turn it around, you do it. Because next year, with the youth that you have, they're going to be very experienced. So, yeah, that's just me right there. I just need a mosquito. I'm just saying, look, that's what we came up with. All y'all with those new airline credits for ATL are more than welcome to join us in NOLA. Hey, let them know, Mike. Look, there we go. So, much to Mike Road Dogg's point right here. Got all these airline credits. Come check them out. JustLookingOut.com, $79 per person. I'm telling y'all, when you're dealing with Mike, as long as other folks don't mess it up, solid, man. I'm not telling y'all from what people told me. I'm telling you from what I did. I told y'all we went to Tampa, short drive, and Mike was like, hey, contact my person. And he took care of us. We got there. Will call, had our tickets. Everything was great. Seamless. Great time had by all. So as long as other folks don't mess up, Mike don't mess up. So, but justlookingout.com, $79 per person. If you're looking for FAMU, Southern, or Bucks versus Atlanta. I mean, Saints. I said Atlanta. Sorry. Y'all know what my heart was. And look, win is all that matters. Like, that's the other thing. 14 points. Like, ain't no dominant edge rusher. No, not with 3-down linemen. Like, not saying that you can't run a 3-down line front, but not like that, right? It's not gonna work, man. Oh, he did play. Okay. We need that. He needs some help. Like, he's good, but that ain't fair to him. Like, look, you can't stop the run defensively. Not me yet with 3 people. Definitely not with, just saying. So I also wonder if the best kicker is on the field. Yeah, but man, that Georgia Classic, right? Like I said, if you haven't checked out the article by Gerald it's a good read. Like, and it answered a lot of the questions that we had in the street committee, because I remember uh, we were talking about it in Tallahassee. Was it last week? Or it might have been the previous game. Might have been the Albany State game. And I remember folks distinctively asking Dennis, like, "Hey, can you help us out with that?" And he was like, "I can't help you. This ain't a FAMU event. This is a Valley event. I can put you in contact with some people." And so it wasn't just like on the ticket side where things were nuts. It was also on the other areas. Like, and I think it was really cool to see some of the mess ups. First thing first, there's a movie about this. It's called Janky Promoters. Like, you go back, you start looking, they missed some pay marks, and let's call a spade a spade. They probably overly depended on FAMU. Like, I think they were really trusting that FAMU was going to bring 10, 15,000 people there. Not saying that FAMU can't, but for Valley, even though Valley, they beat us last time we played, right? It's in Atlanta, but did you kind of overplay your hand a little bit? Like, but you start reading through that Democrat article and you start seeing, hey, man, some of the stuff y'all did, not quite where it need to be, man. But you also saw some of the, FAMU got some fault in it too. And I appreciate Kelvin for saying that during the ONG Strike Zone on the Monday show, saying, hey, everybody's at fault here. FAMU's record is not helping. A one-win record. And in that one win, you barely beat a Division II team. That's not going to sell tickets. I mean, part of why we're saying right now that there's a whole potential quarterback discussion is because we all know if you don't win, these classes ain't going to look good. Like, we've been to the Florida Classic when FAMU's not winning. I've been to the Florida Classic with 65, 70,000, about 70,000 in there. I've also been to the Florida Classic with 40, barely 40, and been like, man, if we was winning, that's some of the questions you have there, because people aren't going to travel to see something that's not looking good. Not in person. Not when I got to pay gas. I got to feed myself and maybe others. Just saying, my time might have to take off from work. If you don't live close, you might have to find a hotel. Like, just saying, like, it's not a good look. Like, you got to be able to win some games. Like, and so I think part of this does fall off FAMU. I think also the promotion, like, it wasn't well promoted. I mean, outside of your FAMU faithful, how many places did you see really promoting this? I didn't see a lot of websites. I don't see a video for it. I mean, you think about the OBC, they advertised that for a year and got 20. Like, you advertised this mug for a better part 2.5 months, and you sold 2,000 tickets. Like, just saying, like, gotta be better than that. And there we go. Florida Classic tickets gonna be looking a little raggedy, especially on the FAMU side. A lot of y'all, again, y'all have paid your money. You've made your decision. You're not paying to watch RJ. Like, not with what he's currently put out there. Now, if you put something different out there, that's different. All of a sudden, it's worth watching. But if it's what we've seen for the past 2-3 weeks, I'm not paying for that. I'm just not. Like, and that's not even being like mean or ugly to the kid. But I mean, I'll be real with y'all. I'll be there. I'm also working the tailgate. Noop's gonna have a nice little tailgate. Hopefully be out there for the morning shift. That's what I signed up for. But I ain't gonna lie to you. If I was just being in a fan capacity, I would just go to the tailgate and hang out. I mean, I might go in and, catch some of the game, but a lot of people are literally looking at me, and I'll go to the tailgate and hang out. But to sit up there and watch that, they're not there, man. Not there, man. Look, 335 is basically a poor recruiting defensive end. We got outside linebacker guys, 215, 230 that can't hold up to the tackle and run against. I ain't gonna say it's that. You're not completely wrong, though. Like, I think with that 335, I think it's really meant more so to really slow down the pass, but it's also dependent on that other three. Like, we forget it's a 3-3-5. The 5 are pretty much in coverage for most of it. 4 of the 5. But one of those 5 and one of those 3 gotta help. Like, you can't just drop 8 every time. That's not gonna work. And that's what you're seeing a lot of us do. Like, drop 8. And then why are we starting to run? Well, yeah, you got 5, 6 in a box. But as you mentioned, 3 of them 5 are like 215, 230 at the most. It's not gonna work. Like, it's just not. Just saying. Look, Hitman. That's another concern. Like, that's something you can't have, man. BCC looking like a track meet. Folks not going to pay to see them run all over us. No, not at all, man. Look, they are looking better. Like, can we? Well, look, let's go ahead and add that to the show notes. How the tables have turned. Look, because if you would have told me this beginning of the season, make sure I spell it right just for my purposes. Have turned. There we go. Sorry. That way I don't forget it. Like, because otherwise, look, FAMU/BCU. There we go. There we go. All right. Some of this is also Valley's fault. Part of it, you depend on FAMU. Look, you don't depend on nobody but God, right? That's what old folks try to tell you, right? And in this case, I think you probably try to lean a little too heavy on FAMU. Probably should have just kept the game on. I mean, I understand why, but yeah. And then even in that, you overextended yourself. You probably shouldn't have tried to put that in the bins. Like, if you were going to move it out, I don't think you go past 25,000 seats. That's just me. I think if you are going to move that game to Atlanta, you still move it to Atlanta, but you move it to, and I think there's a classic in Mobile this week. I think there's something going on in Montgomery, but you move that to a place that has a max capacity of 35,000. That way, if you got 10, it look good. But if you get 2, it don't look terrible. If you don't just keep it at home. But I said this before. If I was Valley, I would try to find situations where I can barnstorm and try to find like 25, 30,000 seat stadiums, get a promoter, get somebody to cut us a check, maybe get to where we're closer to people and try to make that happen. Like, I think they messed up some stuff though. The hottest ticket Orlando would be coach pressure and the FAMU women's basketball team taking on UCF Friday night. Hey, okay. Friday night? I can't call Orlando FAMU South, but it's a whole lot of Rattlers here. And they come here a lot. I think we got both teams in Orlando Metro. Men's basketball is going to be in Kissimmee. Women are going to be here in Orlando again. Yeah. I'm excited about that. Last one, for Valley's fault, for promotion. Both schools did a pretty trash job of promoting this event. Like, we kind of find out about it at the NAA convention, and then from there, like you got a little buzz, but there was no like weekly ads. Like y'all realize these folks didn't even really do Facebook ads. Like I don't know if y'all know, like, and I'll take y'all behind the curtains. You can run Facebook ads for a very low price. Like you're not gonna hit all your target audience, but you can run a Facebook ad and hit 1,000 people for less than $100. Easy. Like I'm not telling you what somebody told me. I'm telling you in my own experience of pushing this show. I have done Facebook ads and spent like $25, $30, and it tried to hit. I think it hit like 1,000, 1,500 people. Like for $5, you can hit 300. Like you can't tell me for the better part of $500, you can hit thousands of people and with Facebook ads. Just 20, 30, 40,000. I ain't even saying you got to have a hype video and everything else. But for about $500 to $1,000, you could probably hit a good number of people and have it in rotation. Like, do the ad cost price add up? Yeah. But again, if it's an event like this, you're gonna have to spend a little coin to get it. So just saying, like, yeah, she wasn't she announced the NAA convention and then it went silent. Exactly. So now say, what did they do right? They did well with the contract as far as again, go back and watch Gerald's article, read Gerald's article. Having that mug set up to where based on how many tickets you sold, determine how much money you got, genius. Because that's what other schools do. I mean, we just talked about what Florida State did down here in Orlando. That was part of the deal. Now, the difference that the promoters and ESPN made, what's up, Mary 305? The promoters for the events, if they really wanted to get the school to buy in, and Kelvin hinted at this, are we good partners? They made Florida State and LSU buy them tickets. So FSU and LSU bought those tickets, meaning they bought them at a price. They were encouraged and incentivized to sell them because they knew whatever they didn't sell, they had to eat. And that's when it came out of their pockets. So I think going forward, if you're going to have a non-traditional classic, it's going to have to be a selling point, but it's also going to have to be something that is done a year out. You can't do this 2 months ahead. We're promoting a classic and no news. Like I even say this with the basketball game here in Orlando. I ain't seen enough information. I saw that opening thing. I saw the announcements. I saw that having, I think it's at the Wild World of Sports. And there's nothing else. Not significant. Not saying I need to hear something every day, but I think even with this basketball invitational that they're doing, that's a lesson. Man, hit the Facebook, hit the Instagram. You can put Twitter out there if you want to. I mean, you probably not going to hit the same audience. I think for an event like that, you really are looking at that Facebook, Instagram audience. But there are lessons to be taken away. And one of them chiefly is you got to get buy-in from both institutions. Not saying that FAMU and Valley weren't bought in, but FAMU's got so much going on. Like we just talked about, FAMU was again the number one public HBCU, but there's still a bunch going on. You got a new president situation. Folks divested. You got instability at the athletic director position. So information isn't coming out the way it would. And I'll say this. I miss my AD. Like I need for somebody to make a decision. Like stop playing with Angela Suggs. Either go with her or go without her. But and the way how things are moving, go with her. Like, put her back in there. We need her back last week. Like, behind the scenes, y'all people that work behind the scenes, y'all made this look real good. Like, when other stuff is a lot shakier than it needs to be, bring AD Suggs back. Yeah, you just heard where somebody left, major person up there. Not mad at him, but I didn't really see him up there doing a lot no way. Respectfully. Not like when AD Suggs is there. Like, you need that. This classic is a perfect example of why you need somebody there and somebody that has experience, because you literally saw where Cookman a few weeks prior pulled out and was like, nah, man, janky promoters, we're not dealing with this. Like, whereas FAMU, you wrote it out and you're like, and now you got egg on your face. Like, we kind of were like, oh man, that's kind of messed up with Cookman. But now you're looking over at FAMU and like, man, that egg is literally dripping down your face. Like, dang, we didn't see this coming. And it's another hit to a fan base that's just kind of like, when do we get a break? Right? Like, at a certain place, you're kind of tired of some of it, right? Because it's more instability. And I think just kind of going forward, you need somebody at the head. You need that, because we are in a space. I don't know if y'all are seeing it, but how the tables have turned. Because if you had told me 4 months ago, 6 months ago, that we would say going into the Florida Classic, you're concerned about a Bethune-Cookman, that the leadership from there seems more organized and that they are more lock and step than FAMU, I'd have been like, Cookman? Okay, I love to hear it, but I don't know if I'll see it. It's better organized over there. Like, I'm just saying, you have their athletic directors in place. He's been there. He's been able to do stuff. We miss AD Suggs. Like, you got a presidential situation where they felt included. They're enjoying the president. It's better organized. They had a classic, just like we had, with the exact same person. They pulled out of it and was like, nah, we ain't doing this in Tampa. This ain't going to work. Versus the week of the game, we had to cancel it. Like, if they weren't a conference game, you would have canceled. Now you're rescheduling and you're going up there in the winter. Like, that's something we're not even talking about. You're not going to Valley in the fall. It's going to be the winter. Like, they're going to be beginning to hit that cold. Like, I'm just saying, I want Angela back, but how can AD do their job unable to handle? You can delegate at a certain place. You pretty much delegate now, right? Like, you need somebody with experience. She may not be able to touch the funds, but you can have somebody that's a treasurer, that is the CFO. So she might sign the contracts, but the CFO is the person that handles the funds. Like, that's what I can think of off the top of my head. Like, I just, when I'm looking at it, we're literally in a spot where we as a fan base, well, we're questioning the job security of James Colsey. Y'all know preseason, hot seat was the other side. Like, we were literally saying Cookman's coach is on the hot seat. Like, and if you don't win 5 games, it's over. Y'all realize, like, y'all talk about buyouts. Like, some of y'all are earnestly saying, like, yo, how can we buy this dude out? And is it worth it? I'm just saying. Some of y'all are really like, we own that. Like, just saying. Let's see if athletics like USF, we need to hire some. I'm just saying. I think going forward, though, this is a couple things. And okay. we've learned some lessons. One, Deion Sanders gave us this. Y'all know, y'all hear his voice every show at the beginning, and y'all know I ain't the craziest Deion fan, but he was right about these classics and these contracts. He wasn't wrong. You need to be wary about some of these contracts and some of these classics, and we need to definitely do some ownership of these classics because we just don't need this kind of publicity. All publicity ain't good publicity, right? But the other piece of this is we've learned, even within our own business wise, how to redo some of these contracts. Because when you're dealing with fan bases like FAMU, right? We're ravenous, very high expectations. And if you ain't winning, we got expectations. I'm like, Plies, I got stunners, bitch. And I think going forward, when you're writing some of your coaches' contracts, you plan on both sides of this. And it's really, to me, it's three sides of the coach's contract that you plan on. You plan on the extension, you plan on the buyout, or you plan to be bought out. What you mean by that, Keith? First is the extension. Hey, coach is doing well. They're winning. It seems like you have a good relationship, both the school and then the athletic director and the coach, whatever sport. Say, hey, let's extend this out. No harm, no foul. Second option is a plan for a buyout. Hey, coach is not meeting the standard. They're not doing what you need for them to do. You plan a buyout. And I think when you're planning buyouts, we got to get out of the idea of, man, I got to have all this at one point. Who does that? The SEC don't do that. So why the heck do you expect FAMU to do that? UF ain't do that. Florida State didn't do that. Why you expect FAMU to do it? Sometimes we just got to stop expecting HBCUs and us to do unrealistic things. You plan it out. And you have it listed in their contract. Hey, in the event of a buyout, you are going to get paid X amount of money based on how much time is left of your contract over this amount of time. And what you also double down on that is, and this is how a lot of these schools kind of get out of paying some of these contracts, is if said coach gets a new job at a new institution, then you're no longer on the hook for the funds. And then that goes to our last part of be prepared to be bought out. Whereas when you have situations like Willie Simmons, where he goes to a FIU, Duke type situation, okay, that's cool. But you got to pay a fee. Ain't nothing free. Ain't nothing free but the air. Like we've got to get into that mindset of, I believe the song by Aubrey is Nice for What? We got to stop being nice for what to these people. Like, why are we being nice to what or for what in business? Because we're pretty much saying that we expect us to come up with a big check and pay you outright to get rid of you. But nobody else does that. Florida doesn't do it. Florida State doesn't do it. Miami don't do it. Colorado don't do it. UCLA is not going to do that. I doubt it. I can't speak on UCLA like that, but I highly doubt. Let's see. We're going to Google it. Matter of fact, yeah, I know. I argue with data. Let me see if I can pull up on the laptop over here. So UCLA DES. I don't even know if I'm spelling his name. SHAUN Foster. Let's see. His buyout is he is owed approximately $6 to $8 million after his termination. The buyout depends, stipulated 70% will be paid. So you start looking at it right here. He's going to get paid out over a course of time. They're not cutting him a check for that whole amount. Like, At some point, you got to start getting to the point where, and they're not even paying them the full amount. You can Google it; it's on there. But the buyout 7.83 mil, and they're not paying all that right away. HBCUs, you got to get to the same place where okay, you're paying people 250 and the high end 300, almost 400,000. We understand you can't pay that all in one year. That's a classic. That's literally what you make from the classic. But what you can do is you can extend one of them boys out over 5 years, especially at 250. Get that cat 50K and have him, if you got a smart lawyer, throw in an escalator in there to where he might end up making 300,000 over that 5 years. But over the course of the season, it's just an extra 50,000. It's extra 50,000. It's extra 50,000. Does it add up? Absolutely. But is it something that you can live with versus paying $1 million, $500,000, honestly, $1 million in coaches' contracts? Yeah. Like, that's the next move. And I'm not advocating for moving on from Cozy. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we've learned lessons in the time between Willie Simmons and now that I think alter how we should do business going forward. Whether it's Marvin Johnson as president, Larry Robinson, or whoever's in the future, going forward as a school leader, you need to, one, empower your athletic director to make decisions. Like, yeah, I may not have loved Courtney, but he did a decent job. Even though he wasn't that crazily experienced as an athletic director. Never been an athletic director before that. But he did some things right. But you start to see some of the mistakes and the things that we didn't do right in business are now kicking us in the teeth now. Like, and that's my issue. I'm like, we need to make him a winner because it makes no sense to raise money to pay him to leave, but we won't use that same energy to raise funds for athletics. Hey, just saying. When traveling with athletic teams, they need something, hotel, da, da, da. Does AD have the power to pay them right? Yeah, but if you have a CFO, that's what they do. So that's my only kind of bounce back to that. I think if you had a CFO who was in charge of finances, but also maybe in charge of trying to find finances, I think that's where they can step into that role for you. That's just my personal opinion. You know, I could be wrong, but Willie was attending coaches' clinics to level up his craft. I know our sisters are doing it, but I don't know if Cozy's doing the same. A professional should always be looking to improve. Okay. Gramless coaching contract may seem ludicrous up front, but I kind of get it. In this era, we might need to get more specific with the benchmarks in these contracts. I'm just saying. And James, I don't see that. I don't see him resigning. I think just because, and he says he should resign now. I don't see him resigning because I think it's different. You quitting because to me, when you quit as a head football coach, you didn't just quit on the position. You quit on the players. You quit on the program. And to a certain degree, you quit on fan base. And not many coaches have bounced back from being quitters. But you got Bobby Petrino. And even when he comes back, you kind of like, yeah, but you quit on the Falcons. Not a lot of coaches bounce back well from quitting. It sounds nice. It does the university a favor. But I think the better thing is to fight through it. And learn from the mistakes. I think we've all seen mistake one. It's a QB one. You can't keep rolling that kid out there. Even if he's the best you got, you can't keep rolling him out there. Sorry. And the massive failure that you made was when you had the chance to kind of still learn what you had at quarterback, you kept running the same person out there. That was a mistake. If you were going to be hell bent on that guy's going to be the starter, run them all. Like, put them all in. And from the first game, hey, we're going to see everybody. Like, this is a team we should beat. Let's see everybody. Then the Albany State game, another one. Doesn't really matter. Let's see everybody. FAU, doesn't matter at all. Who cares? Play everybody. Let RJ show that he could win that. And I think what happened was by just keeping him in there, and especially in the last game where the fan base is already like, and then he shows us that, yeah, we need to push the ball down the field. Hell, he ain't pushing the ball down the field. It ain't the coaches. It's him. Like, he don't get the same play calls. Yeah, well, when he does, he don't execute. So I think when you're kind of looking at that, that's how you kind of lose the fan base. And now, let's be honest, Valley Game getting moved back was a blessing because you got an extra game to figure out what the heck you're going to do going to this conference. You might not win. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I called this one. Like, I said, this is one of mine. Going to the season, I was like, I ain't feeling great about it. Like, what my 3 I wasn't feeling great about. I was shaky about Alabama State. I had this one as an L. I had Jackson as an L. And I had FAU as an L. Otherwise, every game on the schedule was winnable. I'll be honest. You have to, going into this game, you got to figure it out. You got to get it back because you are still in a position where everything you want is in front of you. And while you still need Alabama State to lose twice, which I doubt twice happens. Once, I can see. Twice, I doubt. You still got an outside chance. Just saying. EA says, I want to buy season tickets. However, no one could answer my question of are the games this year, Thursday, Saturday, double headers. I do not know. I think Dr. Cavill, go double check his show. I was told. Sorry. I did get the message about it though. Same format as last year. So yeah. So I believe Mike Road Dog sent that to me. But yes, same format as last year. Hiring an innovative offensive coordinator is paramount. Talented coaches will put the best players on the field, taking advantage of the unique skill set. I don't disagree. Are they allowed to do it though? Like, and I'm not trying to ask that to be petty. I do ask that just with the question. Like, are coaches being allowed to coach? I mean, we've all been in that situation. I'll be honest. I work for my principal right now is not a micromanager. Like, he is the type of, he gives the orders. He checks in on you later on to see is it done. And if it ain't done, then it's a problem. But it's not a where you at with it? Where you at with it? Where you at with it? It's more of a, hey, I told you I needed this done at 5. It's 5:15. Why didn't it get done? Or, oh, it's 4:30. Oh, you got that done early. Oh, well, let me double check. Let me look through and make sure it's right. Okay, cool. We good then. I feel like, take the headset off. And this was my question when he came in. Are you going to be more of the figurehead or are you going to be actually trying to coach? Because no coach knows it all. Very few. Like, you may know and understand ball, but I don't know if you want to be consistently giving input on both sides. I think it's better if you're just the final say on some things or you're the overrule. Like, I think with the offensive coordinator situation, 4th down And 3, you're there to overrule. But first down to third down, let him coach. Like, and I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying what I want from a coach. First through third down offense, let him cook. Fourth down, verify. Like, you're a defensive guy. I want you to kind of be more so of a talking about personnel. Hey, why do we do this? Why are we doing that? Like, be more of that guy where you're checking in and less of the guy where you're probably trying to direct, right? Because at that point, I feel like at times you're making too many decisions. Like, and that's just honest out loud thinking. It's not a critique, but I think at a certain place, you as a coach are making too many decisions. And I think the best coaches are the ones that are able to relinquish that power, but are also able to answer for it and are able to say, like, the defense coordinator wants this, XYZ. But in this crunch time, I made the decision. And, hey, this the offense. I stand by his decision. That's my guy. I stand behind him. But when it's time to make, that hard decision, that's you. What do we go for it on fourth down? That's where you kick in. But first through third, I don't need a lot of overruling. And if things aren't going right, I need you there to really correct. I need you to be really an overseer and less of a manager. That's for me. I need you to be more of the elder of the church, not the preacher. Like, I think the best head coaches are really good elders. If we're gonna put it in a biblical state, you can't be a deacon and a head coach. Deacons are known for being workers. The preacher is the person that everybody sees, but the elders are normally the ones who are kind of behind the screen, but they're leaders. I need my head coach to be more of an elder and be that person that's you pulling the strings behind the scenes. You're the face of the team. When stuff comes up, we made the decision, but you're also saying, go work, go fix, go do. And you let your offensive coordinator and those guys be there. And you the guy that you whips them in shape. I don't know if I need you calling plays. That's just me. And I think it worked well for Willie. But we also saw where it got old. Like, let's be honest. I think our best years are probably when you had KJ's OC. I mean, I think the team ran a little smoother. But you notice defensively, Willie wasn't really, he knew what was going on, but he wasn't answering questions. He'd be like, hey, that's Ryan Smith. That's Smitty. Like, I think that's what you need going forward. Going forward, you probably need to relinquish some of the responsibilities of play calling and leave it to your coordinators, because that also gives you a scapegoat. And I hate to say it like that, but if you're micromanaging, it's your fault. And what I mean by that is, if you're micromanaging, we about to get ready for the Fang exchange. That means the happenings of what happens are your fault. But if you're doing more so directing and saying, this is what I need done, this is what I need done, this is what I need done. Oh, you didn't do it? Oh, you the offensive coordinator. You didn't get a contract. Your ass can get fired. But I need mines. Like, I think that's a little more of what we need. And just say, hey, I'll worry about recruiting. I'll worry about keeping the team together. My boys need this. My boys need that. Be the voice. Be out there in front. But on the sideline, have that thing down, listen to everything that's going on, analyzing everything that's going on, and ask the questions. If you don't like what's going on, hey, you're in the moment. Defensive coordinator, why are we still running 3 down linemen? We've, at this point in the game, we've given up this amount of yards. Defensive staff, GAs, let's come up with something. Let's figure this out. We need something different. This ain't working. Like, I'm gonna give you this other drive, but if something doesn't change, hey man, we're gonna have to change something. Make a change. And if not, then I'm jumping on. Like the same thing with the offense. Hey, we ain't scored in these last couple drives, man. What's going on? Hey, this is what I'm seeing. You converse and talk about what you're seeing with your team. And then after you do that, then that helps you make in the moment adjustments. Like, just saying, keep your about 40 minutes late with that. Let me see. Oh no, we're not beating. No. I have no expectations of that. I never had expectations of that in the first place. I didn't. Man, you didn't miss too much. But I think going forward, man, the seat is hot. And it's crazy to see that the seat at FAMU is hot, whereas the coach's seat at Cookman is room temperature. Like, he won 2 games, and he has an offense that has a pulse, and they got hope. Whereas at FAMU, you won 1 game, and you barely won that, and that thing boiling. Like, it's uncomfortable. Like, and you can see where you might be reaching. And sometimes when you're reaching, maybe sometimes you just need to let go. Because right now, ain't no damn sugar FAMU. And you better find some, because otherwise, I'm telling you now, it's alumni base that, like I told y'all before, everybody ain't stupid. There's a lot of smart people up here, and there's a lot of people that are like me that realize if y'all are that serious about buying somebody out, space it out. Don't cut a $250,000 check. Write $50,000 checks. Gets the job done, right? $50,000 checks or $250,000. And if you really want to be slick, whoever it is in the future, you write multiple checks for whoever they are, and just say, hey, you allocate and you adjust for inflation. So that way, you set a little number, say whatever this is within this range, we'll adjust for inflation up to 3%. They still getting their salary. They can stay at home. Like I said before, every FAMU check and contract, going forward, should include 3 considerations. Not just because I'm fond of number 3. It should consider, are you going to extend the person? Are you going to terminate the person? Early termination? Or are they going to get bought out? Because if you're going to extend them, you need to have a contingent plan. If they are going to get bought out, you need to have a buyout plan that allows you to be able to slowly move that thing in there. But to also, allow for the opposite of, hey, somebody decide they want to buy them out early, whether they are terminated, extended, or still there. They need to be some type of acceleration to where if they're buying a coach out, there's a fee. Shouldn't just be you walk out of FAMU for free. And that's not you trying to hold people back, but what you're trying to do is protect the university. Because in these days and times, we know if you're doing well, they're coming for you. And let's call a spade a spade. If that school across the street or down in Gainesville or up in Athens ever were to call a FAMU coach and say, we like what you're doing, it wouldn't matter if you was charging them double whatever you're paying them. They're going to pay it. And that money just goes back into the athletic budget. That way you can maybe feed the players. Go support these things. We need that. Or you can just put the money in other things, or you just put that money towards the next coach and just put it in an account that keeps rolling over. So just saying. It's going to be easy in a little while, man. you are fired, Cozy, then how much do you think you're going to pay his replacement? I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You got a decent deal with Cozy. Like, if I'm coming after him, this is just key. If I was ever coming after Cozy, or any coach at FAMU, the conversation starts at 300. I'm sorry, like we're talking 300,000 out the gate, because I know, and you know, because you watch Fangs Up, APR is going to be an issue. You're probably not going to play next year, so you're going to give me that year. Second year, I'm going to be bouncing back from APR year, and then third year, I got to fix all that, and I got to produce something. So yeah, y'all gonna cut me 900, and even in that 900, there's gonna be incentives, because first season's free, but by that second, third season, if I can win anything that says conference or bowl in it, that contract immediately became $1 million contract. Like, it's not $1 million per season. 300,000 for 3 years is $900,000. So an extra 50,000 for conference championship, 50 for the Celebration Bowl. That's 100K. That's $1 million. That's just key. Like, you lying. you come on, man. Like, normally I left that boat a long time ago. Come on, man. We people. This is business. He might not leave for Florida State, but they offer him more money. He's gone. Ain't nobody loyal. I'm sorry. I ain't loyal to OCPS. Like, the right school board called me tomorrow, offer me double money. We gone. Out the door. Come on, man. Like, why do you need 300K for a coach to compete? I'm just saying. That's just me. Now, if I did take less, then I would need a larger staff. So that's for me. Because I'll be honest with you, as a first-time head coach, you could pay me 150 and I'd be cool with it. But I'm going to have a staff. Like, the lowest I would let y'all slide, even with Florida tax, would be like 125. But with that, we have a large staff. You're using some of that money that you would pay me as a head coach to invest back into the players, either NIL or nutrition. Like, if I'm going to take less money, then you're going to give my players more. Like, some of that money is going to NIL. Like, it doesn't make sense. And this is just me. And this is Keith. I know I'm different. Look, I'm out of contract at HBCU Digital, and we still here, right? But even when under contract, my contract was favorable to HBCU Digital. I would much rather you give me less so that we can get more. Because guess what happens? If I'm a coach and I cut my teeth at FAMU 3-4 years, I got a decent staff making 125, 150, and I got a staff and my players are getting better treatment. Guess what? We win championships. Well, guess what? When the other schools call, hey, this is the going rate for a coach at your level. This is what I want. I'm not saying I'll take a haircut, but just saying if the going rate is this, then I'm setting myself up to get a raise. And I'm setting myself up to have more things for myself, more things for my players. And I just took a little haircut. To me, I think that's me. So if you asked me and I knew what I was walking into, I want 3. But if I'm really trying to rebuild FAMU and build FAMU into something that I think is going to be a better program, I'm probably taking like 125, 150. But in that, you are putting that back into resources. And it's either staff, students, or supplies. One of those 3. It's either staff to help with the academics and get that APR up, or staff in the form of additional coaches. It's something to give the students a better atmosphere, whether it's facilities upgrades, food upgrades, supplies that they need, and stuff like that. Or again, it's supplies, like, what kind of stuff. So it's one of those, like, but it's not. That's just me though. So but yeah, they don't have the fees. Hey, we'll see. Glad you're assessing the current state of FAMU athletics and not calling everybody else poor institution high. No, I'm never gonna do that, man. I'm staying home. I saw the other night, and I say this again: we are the quickest and our worst critics. You want to go see another school that is dealing with some FAMU foolishness? Go check out Sacramento State. You like, whoa. So I'm just saying, man. I think when it comes to FAMU, we got to keep ourselves in the now, and understanding of where we are, but also where we want to go, and understand that it takes our leadership. It's going to take some vision, but it's also going to take a lot of stability. And if we're missing instability, especially, that impacts our ability to get some stuff done. And what it really does is it exposes you later on, because you're going to eventually only be able to rely on those people that have kind of been helping you make it through for so long until it blows up. And this past week, it almost blew up. It just wasn't our game. It was a game we were a part of, but if things go a little bit differently in a certain direction, just don't end up well. So, like I said, what's the average salary for head coaches? Begin with HBCU or non-HBCU? We quick to talk about. Now, I give credit to Scotty and Blue. I think they pointed out schools like North Dakota State. Those guys are making like in the hundreds, like 150, 200. They take a little less money, put more into the program, at least from what I remember. I don't have the stuff as of this year, but HBCUs tend to pay quite a bit. We also tend to have the best attendance up. So it's crazy. We have the best attendance. The schools are not as well funded by the states that they reside in, but we pay our coaches a good amount. Like, I think Colsey, payment wise, he probably in top 5 in HBCU football. I could be wrong. I don't have no stats for that. So that's not me speaking with authority. That is reckless, irresponsible speculation. But I would say I know Colsey's pretty much probably top 10. Like, so yeah. The sad part is they didn't have to suck. They suck because of administration and listen to alums. This is their choice, and they stopped listening. Hey, I'm just saying. I love it. I love your faith in Ed Reed. For a man that's never coached college football, I love your faith. I love it. I just don't share that in him. But I love your faith. What the good book says, with faith the size of mustard seed, right? I would disagree with you here. I don't think there's any way he is a clear person you should have hired. I think there's a lot more well-qualified and experienced people that you would look at before you get there. I think he is a great name. I think he has a passion for the game. And I think he has things that a lot of people like, but he's unproven. But we said the same thing about Deshaun Jackson. So I think Deshaun Jackson did a better job of using his recruiting ties and the fact that he has a little bit of coaching experience. Even though it's at a lower level, I think it was high school, he was able to use that. Whereas I don't think Ed Reed would be that different, because I think you got a lot of that with James Colsey. NFL experience, more coaching experience, truthfully. Just not a big name. But you compare the two, They check a lot of the same boxes. Eerily. They check a lot of the same boxes. Eddie George, not a lot of coaching experience, but different demeanor. I'll say it like that. But yeah, I'm with you. When it comes to FAMU, I'll say it once. I'll say it again. Florida Agricultural Mechanical University is at its best when we have experienced coaches. I don't care who you are. I don't care the sport you play. FAMU is at its best and wins championships when we have experienced coaches who come from a lower level and come up. Doesn't matter if it's Willie Simmons. Willie Simmons, and I'm not trying to crack on PV. He started at Lincoln High School. Went around, came back, went over to PV, applied to FAMU. Billy Joe, Division II coach. I think he beat us. Comes to FAMU. That's amazing things. Going down the line, not a lot of first-time coaches. Rudy Hubbard even had coaching experience. I don't remember how much experience J.K. had. I ain't that far back. Mike Gillespie, winning championships at Tallahassee State College now, but Tallahassee Community College. Comes to FAMU, kicks butt, takes names. Your baseball coach went to the College World Series how many times? Comes to FAMU after working in high school, wins championships. Your softball coach has won state championships. Comes to FAMU and just continues to kick butt. So within FAMU, we are best when we have experienced coaches. So that's it though, man. That's what we see. That's what the data says. All right, y'all. Let me get up out of here. We'll be here Sunday. I was gonna take a day off. We'll be here. Actually, no, we won't. We're gonna be off because we have a Kappa event. So Thursday, we will be here Thursday, getting ready for that North Carolina Central game. And it'll be some good times. He is. But remember, go back and watch the Cozy episode when we had him on. I asked him about that experience. It wasn't winning experience. Not as a coach. Respectfully. That's not disrespectful. But that time in Canada was not a winning product. So again, when I'm saying experience, I'm not just pointing at the fact you coached. I'm pointing at the fact you won. Lose overall, 8-8 at FAMU. Losing records as head coach. And that's not being disrespectful. That's the numbers. Like, okay. I love your faith. You got faith. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all later. And y'all already know what's up, what it's always going to be. And Thursday, we'll see y'all. Because we're going to take Sunday off so we can do some stuff with our Kappa Leaguers, man. My son's Kappa League, so, I'm a proud dad. But we're going to bring in a new class, and they're going to have brother working. So see y'all next Thursday. We're taking Sunday off because there's no game on Saturday anyway. So except for the Seminoles. Y'all know who I'm cheering for. 850 till I go. All right. Thanks up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started. Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Dorsey, how